Coach, it's going to be a big one in London, England. We're going to fly a long way to play a home game, but this is a game you need to get against the Seahawks.
Definitely is. You're right about that. It's going to be a long flight. I'm looking forward to it, and I've never been to London. I know our players are excited, and I think we all know we got to play a lot better than we did in L.A.
And one guy that we want to highlight, because you like to talk about, guys that are big for your football team but are going under the radar, and Jalen Richard has been big for you this year.
Well, he is. In this offense, we want to throw the football to our backs, and sometimes you're looking for the best matchup possible. And one thing you have to do as a back is you got to know who to block, you got to know how to block, and then you got to really want to block. And Jalen Richard has done that. Here he is in a 2-minute situation against the Chargers. Obviously, we're behind. They know we're throwing it. Derek is trying to get the ball to Amari Cooper to his left. There's nobody open. You see Richard on this right side. He gets a chip right there. He helps our rookie right tackle. Then he outlets. He's exactly where he's supposed to be, and Derek throws it really blind. But he trusts his back so much to pass protect and then get to his outlet area where he's supposed to be. And after the catch, this young man is pretty good. That's a nice job by Seth Roberts finishing the play. But I love Richard. He can carry the ball. He can catch it. And he's really good picking up the blitz.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but you need to be able to block and not get your quarterback killed. And everybody just thinks about running backs as running the football or catching the football out of the backfield. You've got to know who to pick up and how to help.
Well, there's no question. And the running back position, I think, is the strength of this football team. Marshawn Lynch is the headliner.
Yeah.
Doug Martin has come in here, and he's just waiting to get an opportunity. And Jalen Richard, as you said, is very good without the football. And that's what the great running backs do. They pass protect. They know where to get to on their checkdowns. They're reliable players, and we got a good one in Richard.
And let's go back to the Cleveland game. And this is the end of the game. I mean, it was an incredible comeback, one of the greatest games I've ever seen. And he was big for you, making some plays before you tied the game.
Yeah, he really was. We're down by 8 points with 40 seconds left, and here he is in the backfield. We're trying to push the ball down the field to Martavis Bryant at the bottom, Amari Cooper at the top. It's a double zone. Clearly, the Cleveland Browns are defending the field, and Derek checks it down. And after the catch, that's a lot of hidden yardage. And watch where he goes. He goes out of bounds to stop the clock to set up the game-tying touchdown. But again, it's just, I think, an example of a reliable back who, when he does touch the ball, has incredible stop-and-start quickness and has a real good discipline feel for the game, getting out of bounds, knowing where he is.
And I know we've shown 2 highlights where he's catching the football, but as a little guy, he's tough. He can run. He can run in between the tackles, too.
He's not little. He's short. You know, it's like my son Deuce. He's not the little guy, but he's very big and strong. He is a stout, strong, compact football player, and I can't say enough about him. He's fighting to get more and more and more playing time. We're happy he's an Oakland Raider.
You know, I want to ask you about your quarterback because we've talked about patience with Derek Carr, but I've also said for myself, whether it's doing the post-game show or different shows for the Raiders, I still want him to be aggressive. And it makes me think of a guy that you had. You had like the most ultra-aggressive guy ever in Green Bay. You had Brett Favre. What was it like on that coaching staff when you knew he was so aggressive, but you also wanted to preach patience?
Well, I remember it like yesterday. Andy Reid, Mariucci, and I got yelled at a lot because Favre was up and down. He'd be too aggressive, and he wouldn't be aggressive enough. But look, this is 5 games in. Derek Carr and I have worked together. He's clearly made some great plays. You don't throw for 1,600 yards in 5 games and 75% unless you're doing something right. But there are areas, I think, that we need to tone down a little bit, and we will. And I think we'll prove that in London. But it's a hard thing to coach. He's had a lot of different systems. He's met a lot of coaches in his 5 years here, and he is making tremendous progress, I should say, and he'll continue to do that.
Now, you have a little history with Russell Wilson. Back in your quarterback camp days, we went back and watched it today and looked how young he was, and it was interesting because you were getting on him because he was a baseball player, played at NC State, then he went to Wisconsin. You remember when you sat down with Russell Wilson?
Yeah, I do. You know, I did 60 of those shows, and, you know, Derek Carr, Andrew Luck, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, those are the guys that walk through the door and you go, they can't miss. Russell Wilson had one thing going against him, Chris. It was his height. And we made a big deal about that in the show.
You and me both.
But when you watch him play, you got to defend 2 plays every time you play Russell Wilson. You got to defend the play that the Seahawks call, and then you got to play the play that Russell Wilson creates when everything breaks down. I don't know what's worse. You know, here they are playing the Rams last week. They're on the goal line. It's on the 4-yard line. They roll out to his right. There's nobody open. That's the play the Seahawks called. Didn't work, but it's not a bad play because Russell Wilson, he can keep it alive for 9, 10, 11 seconds. He can run, and he can throw the ball from some of the most awkward levels you will see. And that's just hard to defend. So our defense is going to have their hands full, not only getting to him and making him stay in the pocket where that 5'11 status matters, but when he does escape, we got to plaster to our men in the end zone. We got to hold our coverage for a long period of time, and we can't let this happen. We cannot let this man extend plays, but I'm not the first coach to say that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason he's been to 2 Super Bowls and he's won 1. And I think the one thing, too, you know, watching him over the years is his leadership. You can just tell that this guy is a leader. He's really smart.
Well, when he walks in the door, you feel it. You know, he was a captain at North Carolina State. Then he walks into Wisconsin. He's there for a couple weeks. They make him the captain. He goes to the Seahawks, and he's the captain of, like you said, a world championship team. So it'll be a great test for us. Our defense needs to play better. This will give them a great opportunity to do that.
Well, we're going to London. It's going to be an interesting game. I cannot wait. Wembley Stadium. We're back-to-back weeks. We're in a soccer stadium.
How about that? We'll have a chance to spend some time together on the plane, and we'll go over some Russell Wilson film. I'll show you how we're going to try to contain him.
Beautiful, Coach. Good luck to you in Wembley Stadium.
Good to see you, man.